Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. Today's quite a special day for me because I've got this, a Gordon Smith GS 1.5, and to put it bluntly, it is my dream guitar, and I'll tell you all about why and the story behind it right after we've heard how she sounds. Okay, so why is this particular guitar my dream guitar? Well, I used to own a Gordon Smith, bought it back in about 94, and it was a beautiful guitar, and I loved it. So what did I do? Like an idiot, I sold it. I was seduced by the lure of a certain well-known, high-profile US boutique guitar maker, and I wanted one of their instruments, so I sold the Gordon Smith, amongst other things, in order to fund the purchase of that guitar. And as I was walking away from the post office, having left my Gordon Smith there to be sent to its new owner, I kind of knew I'd done the wrong thing. I really did. And I've hankered for a Gordon Smith ever since. And recently, I've been thinking about getting myself a custom-built guitar. And what happened was, in 2011, the company Gordon Smith changed hands. The original owner retired, basically. And since the new owners took it on, they've started doing custom-built guitars. So I wanted a Gordon Smith and I wanted a custom-built guitar. I think you can see where this is going. So anyway, cut a long story short, the other night I was on the Gordon Smith website and I spec'd up my ultimate dream guitar. And then I was just about to pay the deposit and start the 8-week waiting process that it takes to get one of these guitars built. And I thought, I'll just check eBay. Just to make sure, So I went onto eBay and found the exact same model of guitar available immediately. This is it. It's an ex-demo model from a company in the northwest of England, HW Audio. They're like a chain of music stores over there. And yeah, they had this one in stock, which was, as luck would have it, almost, I'd say 99.9% the same as my custom order guitar that I was going to change, that I was going to order. The only difference is that the one that I would have ordered would have had a double cutaway rather than the, this is what Gordon Smith referred to as the 60 top, where you basically have more of a Les Paul style outline, and mine would have had funnily enough, a tortoiseshell scratch plate, but I've got one of those on order to bung onto this guitar. And the main thing was I didn't have to wait 8 weeks to get it, and it was available immediately, and because it was an ex-demo model, it was significantly cheaper than I would have paid if I'd ordered one direct from the factory. So that made me a very, very happy camper, it has to be said. So I've told you about how I came to get the guitar and why it is so special to me. Let's now have a look in close-up at it and take a look at the specifications. Well, let's see what we've got then. The body is a single piece of cedar, as is the neck. You can see here that there is no scarf joint at the headstock or bulking up of the heel where it joins the body. The neck is topped off with a 12-inch radius rosewood fretboard, sporting 22 medium jumbo frets. And just take a closer look at this shot here and you will see how low and slinky and effortless the action is on this guitar. Up at the top end we have a brass nut measuring 43.6 millimeters, and notice that when the time comes to change the nut, all you got to do is undo a couple of screws and screw a new one in. Very nice little touch that. The tuners are Gordon Smith's own in-house units, which on this guitar have an 18:1 ratio, although you can specify lower ratio ones to save a bit of money, or you can also specify locking 18:1 tuners if you want to spend a bit more money. Down at the body end where the neck joins the body, you can see you've got a dual action truss rod, adjustable in the same way as like Music Man guitars and so on. And right at the other end of the strings you've got a Tune-o-matic bridge and stop tailpiece. The guitar is powered by one Gordon Smith humbucker in the bridge position and a Gordon Smith single coil in the neck position. Now, details on Gordon Smith pickups are somewhat hazy and difficult to come by, but I can tell you that the DC resistances are 9.1k for the bridge and 5.9k for the neck, so that kind of gives you an idea of the way these pickups have been wound. Quite vintage and not particularly hot in output, which suits me fine. And then finally, controlling the pickups, you've got a master volume and a master tone 3-way selector, and on the volume pot, strangely not the tone pot, you've got a push-pull switch to turn the bridge humbucker into single coil mode. And that's what's going on with this Gordon Smith GS 1.5. So, cedar for building an electric guitar. It's not something you see every day, is it? But it works, as you heard in that demo at the beginning of the video. Now, on the subject of those demonstrations, what I like to try and do when I'm reviewing a guitar is try and cram in every sound that the guitar will make into one 90-second or 2-minute piece of music, but that was never going to happen with this guitar, because unlike many guitars, the volume and tone controls actually work. It's a novel idea, isn't it? You all know the kind of thing where you turn the guitar volume down and the sound turns to mud. You turn the guitar's tone control down a bit and the sound turns to mud. Not on this guitar. For instance, I've got it set up here. Bridge pickup is in humbucker mode. I'm in the middle pickup setting and I've got the tone rolled off to about 5, and I've got quite a nice kind of jazzy clean sound, something that you might expect from a Les Paul on a clean channel. That kind of sound. But when I recorded the demo earlier, same settings on the amp modeler, no difference there. Just roll the tone control all the way up. Same pickup setting, middle position, but I'm switching to single coil on the bridge pickup now, and you get something much more kind of Fendery in character. like that. And it's the same when you kick in a bit of drive as well. Let's go to the drive channel, and like a full-on kind of thrangy high gain sound, like that. And then simply by going to single coil mode there, and middle pickup setting, back the volume off to maybe about there, and you've got not an entirely clean sound, but a sound that's clean enough where you can get away with playing minor chords, for example, like. And it doesn't turn all flabby like would normally happen with a high gain sound when you're playing anything other than a power chord, basically. So, you know, in terms of the versatility of this guitar, it's there, isn't it, really? The other thing about cedar as a bodywood is that, or as a construction timber, is that this guitar is incredibly light. Okay, you're not going to get a bad back with this guitar strapped around your shoulders for a long gig. It does that thing that any, I think, good guitar should do, which is it just disappears. It gets out of the way, and you're concentrating on the musicality of the guitar rather than the physicality of the guitar, which is, you know, as I say, it gets out of your way and lets you play music without having to think about the weight that you're carrying. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I've eaten meals that weigh more than this guitar. But, you know, that's probably not a very good analogy. I mean, look at me. I've probably eaten meals that have weighed more than a Les Paul Custom. And the bloke playing it. But that's, you know, anyway, it's a very light guitar. So if this has whetted your appetite, then, you know, why not check out Gordon Smith guitars? What you're getting for a very reasonable outlay is a UK-made, handmade, custom-built guitar. If we look at some prices here, you'll see that the GS range of guitars start at 600 quid. You know, albeit that's for a single pickup, one in kind of a natural finish. You know, that's really sort of bare bones. But, you know, for some people, that is their dream guitar. If you're after something a little bit more opulent, dare I say it, even a little bit ostentatious, then check out a model like the Graduate, where you get like a carved top, which doesn't have to be maple, by the way. You can specify all the timbers as you spec up the guitar. You know, there's things like zebra wood, sycamore is in there. There's I think I saw one on YouTube the other day where they'd actually used spalted apple wood, which is, you know, how many other guitar manufacturers would do that? And prices for the Graduate start at about 950 quid. So, you know, if you're wanting something a little bit less run-of-the-mill, and, you know, get you a little bit of exclusivity, and it's custom built, and it's handmade, and it's built in the UK, and, you know, no one else is really going to have one quite like it, are they? Then, you know, well worth checking out. I'll put a link to the Gordon Smith website in the description box below this video. Also, in the description box, you will find a link to the course that I've got on sale at the moment. It's called Making the Modes Easy, and it does exactly what it says on the tin. It makes the modes easy. You get plain English, jargon-free explanations of everything you need to know about how to play with modes in your lead guitar playing. You get all of the scale patterns that you need, which will be hopefully very familiar to you, because they're all based on those nice, familiar, friendly pentatonic and blues scale patterns that we all seem to rely on so much. You get lots of solos, loads and loads of licks, all demonstrated in glorious close-up, and you get the tabs as well, and of course you get a bunch of jam tracks to try it all out yourself. So, you know, it's available from there. As I say, the link is also in the description below. It says on my website that this costs $39.99, but Udemy, who are selling this for me, always have discounts and offers on, so you're very unlikely to be paying that kind of money for it. So why not check it out? You'll not regret it, I promise you. Or if you prefer some tailored one-to-one guitar tuition, then give me a shout via the details at the end of this video. If you live on Teesside in the northeast of England, you can come along for a face-to-face lesson in this very room, and maybe even have a go on this. Or wherever else you are in the world, you can have a lesson via Skype, and whichever way you do it, your first lesson is of course free. So what do you got to lose? And with that, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all again next time around. Bye for now, folks.